What's up, YouTubers? Welcome back. Today we are taking a look at yet another Joytoy set. This time we're looking at the O2 ST Legion Interstellar Trooper group. As you can see on the front of the box, there's a fantastic artwork of the figures with their helmets on. On the top of the box it says Battle for the Stars and some Oriental writing. On the side of the box it says Interstellar Federation, and it has a great depiction of their logo right here. Bottom of the box it says Interstellar Trooper, and on the side of the box it says Joytoy in the same foil writing. Looking around the back, it gives you a great visual of all the accessories and items that are included in this set. And of course, back around to the front, you have this great window box for you mint in box collectors. But I say let's open it up and see what's inside. Here we have everything laid out on the table and all the contents that were in the packaging. Let's take a look at the pamphlet first. And here on the front it says Battle for the Stars. So this falls underneath the Battle for the Stars chapter of the Joytoy releases. On the back it says 02 ST Legion Interstellar Trooper. If we open it up, we flip it around, it has a great picture of the team and the weapons and accessories. And on the other side, it shows a great disassembly example, and this is so you can take your figure apart and repair it if needed. Looking at the rest of the items that were in the packaging, you can see over here it comes with a shield and a handle for the shield, an axe, a small knife, and a machete. I love seeing the repair parts that Joytoy includes in case your figure breaks. A couple of closed fists, 3 identical rifles, 2 other rifles, and 3 identical pistols. And of course each figure comes with its own helmet and the figures themselves. Looking at the shield first, you can see it comes in this shiny gunmetal gray finish with some black wash on it. It's got a warning label on the top and of course the group faction on the front. Great looking design on this, and on the back it has the same coloring. And there's a post right here, and that's to accept the small handle. And this round port just plugs onto the post. Just apply a little bit of pressure and it'll stay on there. And you can either have it in this direction, or if you want, you can flip it around in the opposite direction. And this depends on how you want your figure to hold it, in either his left or right hand. And I really like how the designers made this universal and easily changeable. Next up, let's take a look at the closed fist hands. So it comes with a right and left fist. You can see the silver highlights on the knuckles and on the back of the glove. And of course, you can't hold a weapon with this. This just ports onto the figure. Taking a closer look at the axe, this is a fantastic design. It's got the shiny silver blade and some design at the top of the handle. And of course this carries over to both sides. And it's got a small hole at the bottom right here in case you want to run a string through it, I guess. Next, we'll take a look at the machete. And they've even gone so far as designing some etch marks on the blade. Of course this is bright silver paint. And a nice looking handle. And lastly, we'll take a look at the small knife. And this looks pretty devastating with the hook on it. And the knuckle duster handle. Same on both sides. And by the look of the knife, you can see it could do quite a bit of damage. We'll take a look at the firearms that the team comes with. You can see there's 3 identical rifles right here, and these are brown and black. There's a little bit of black wash on the brown portion of the gun, with some type of red canister at the bottom of the clip. Great looking design and detail with the scope on top. Same on this side. Not sure what that canister is. I don't know if it shoots bullets or lasers. The next rifle, there's two of these. And these are in a black plastic with a silver wash to them and some silver highlights on the top. And right behind the scope, you can see some type of air canister that runs down along the side of the gun. Great design and detail on these as well. And for the last weapon, 3 identical pistols, one for each of the figures. This is molded in the black plastic with the silver wash. Again, it looks futuristic to me, and I'm really not sure what kind of pistol this would be. I thought it'd be important to show you that these figures can actually hold their weapons, even with all this bulky armor on. He's got that stock right up against his shoulder, and he's looking down that sight pretty well. Looking at the captain or the leader of the team, I got a pistol in his hand, and you can see he's sighting down that thing like a pro. And for the third member of the team, I put one of those other rifles in his hand, and he can look down that scope, no problem at all. I also went so far as putting a pistol on his right thigh. You just warm up the clamp, and it clips in there for great storage. And that's the same for all 3 figures. And with such great design of these figures, they can hold all their weapons with 0 issues. For the final accessory of the group, each figure comes with his own helmet. I'll bring this in close to the camera. You can see the shiny gold visor, the breathers in the front, wonderful detail on the side with the red hose. Get it to focus here. Here we go. Details on the top. Here you can see the skull logo of the team. And of course, this carries all the way around. And these are made out of a pliable rubbery plastic, so they easily fit on top of the figures' heads. And here we have the leader of the team's helmet. It's molded out of the same exact design as the gray, with the obvious difference that it's in an off-white and black wash. And the skull logo on this one really pops. And what I like about these helmets are, these actually fit on the sculpted heads, and you don't need to swap them out for a smaller balaclava type head. I've gone ahead and warmed up each of the helmets for like 30 seconds on low with my blow dryer. That makes them nice and pliable. And that makes them really easy just to pop on to the figures like so. Same with him. And of course, the last guy. This gives you a good visual of what they look like when they're all geared up. And here's a profile look. I for one am happy that Joytoy has gone with the off-world design of their latest releases. Such great design and imagination put into these figures. From what I see, they're coming out with a couple of more off-world sets that I think will complement these guys really well. Let's look at the paint design and sculpt of each of these figures. These 2 figures are absolutely identical, and his armor is painted white. Here you can see he's got a really stern looking face, a short blonde haircut, great sculpting on the top. He has toned down yellow armor with some wash on it. On the right side of his chest he's got his faction logo and the number 2. Coming down to the cod piece, this is on the belt, and that is removable. Down to his thighs. On his right thigh, he has the same faction logo and the 02. And down on his shins, you can really start to see the skull logos, how they pop on the yellow. The tops of his boots are sculpted, and of course the bottom of the boots are sculpted with 2 peg holes. On the pauldrons, there's some white highlights right here, and some black highlights on his forearm. You can get a little bit better look at all the accessories on his belt. And of course the sculpting goes down his leg. Up on his shoulders, you can see the black up here with the yellow. And of course, the jetpack, in which they painted the inside of the turbines bright red. The back guard is on the bill, just like the cod piece. On the back of his legs, there's some black stripes. And of course, down on his calves, there's a couple of caution logos with some more jetpacks right here. They kept the design uniform on this side with the same white and black highlights. And down on his right thigh, here's the clip to hold the pistol. You heat it up and it just clamps onto the pistol nice and tight. I think they used just enough black wash to tone down this bright yellow. Looking at the leader, same exact armor and sculpting, except of course he's got the white chest plate. And looking at his head, he's got a really short brown haircut, a brown beard, and a really unique style to him. I'm really glad that they're actually using new head sculpts. Looking at the back, of course this is painted white, and his jetpack right here. And with the final team member, he's got quite the determined look on his face. He's got dark brown hair with a fade, and this comes down to a point. And great sculpting on the top. I thought it would be interesting to bring in one of the 03ST Legion Interstellar troopers from the review I just did and compare them to this set. And here you can see they used all brand new unique parts for each set. The armor is completely different from the top to the bottom, all the way down to the feet. The only things that I can see that they reused for both sets is the hands and the actual bodies. And if you ask me, this is a huge step forward for Joytoy, because some of the earlier sets just reused the same parts over and over again, and they just added different paint. When I first saw the release of these two groups, I thought that they fell underneath the same unfortunate dilemma as the earlier releases. Every bit of armor on both these groups are completely different. So that's a huge nod in Joytoy's favor. The fans asked, and obviously they listened. Of course, here's a closer look at the helmets. And here you can see obviously they're completely different. Let's see how the articulation holds up on these figures. And of course the articulation is absolutely identical for all three. His head moves left and right. This is on a double ball joint, so you get a good range of motion here. You can only look back this far because of the neck guard, and down this far. Coming over to the shoulder, it only goes up about this far because of the pauldron, and that rotates 360 degrees. His elbow rotates 360 degrees, and bends just shy of 90 degrees. His wrist rotates all the way around, and this wrist goes in this direction, and this wrist goes up and down. And of course that's to better hold their weapons. Now coming down to the waist, he actually has a diaphragm joint which is hidden with all the armor, but his waist is on a ball joint. So this spins and rotates. You can do the splits about this far. He's got a thigh cut right here, which is hidden with the armor. And of course he can kick up about this far. He's got a double knee joint, but it only bends this far because of the jetpack on his calf. His ankle, he can point his toe down here and up to about here. And this is on a rocker, so some good range of motion here. just going to play with it a little bit because of the armor. Even with all this bulk on, you can still get these figures into some great poses. In one of my earlier reviews, I had one of my viewers ask me if I could actually show off the armor is removable on some of these figures. So I've taken the armor off of him, and I've only taken half off to show you what is removable and what isn't. Of course, the chest piece, the upper arm and forearm, the upper thigh, the calf, and the belt. Now, the only things that aren't removable is the knee pad and, of course, the boot. But this also shows you that hidden diaphragm joint we were talking about earlier. With all that armor, we are missing some of this articulation. I'm going to wrap up this review by doing some comparisons with some other toy lines. So here's another Joytoy figure. How about a Collectors Club Lieutenant Falcon from G.I. Joe? A custom Marauders figure, Bomb Strike, from the Valkyrie line. And lastly, let's bring in a Boss Fight Studios Knight figure. You can see all the size differences and how they compare across the multiple lines. This is going to wrap up my review of the O2 ST Legion Interstellar Trooper Group from Joytoy. Absolutely beautiful figures. Great articulation, zero paint slop, and I absolutely love how Joytoy is incorporating new sculpts, head sculpts, and accessories with all their newer releases. Big props to them for listening to the fans. If you have the means, go ahead and add this group to your collection. And bring your team off-world to new adventures. As always, I'd like to thank you for watching. And if you like what you see, join the community and hit that subscribe button. And remember, help a fellow collector out and share your knowledge.